Hello and good afternoon. Welcome to the What We Need Spotlight interview series. We would like to thank you for being available for this session and giving us your time. Can you please tell us your name, where you're located, and the organization you're associated with?
Thank you so much for this opportunity. I'm Robinah Alambuya. I am located in Uganda, and I serve in the local organization called Triumph Mental Health Support. I also serve on the Africa Disability Forum as an executive member, and also Transforming Communities for Inclusion as the first president for TCI-Global. And Triumph was initiated by us, persons with lived experience and psychosocial disability. We initiated it as a women-led and women-driven organization, but with active boy and men engagement. So mainly, due to our support needs and what we have experienced in the community, we have experienced a lot of stigma, discrimination, and exclusion. So our first area of focus is raising awareness about us and our support needs so that people can understand us, and also mitigating stigma and discrimination using our lived experiences, our own stories, and our own voices. And after raising awareness for the community to understand, then we are able to mobilize members. People are able to refer to us, other members that have been hidden or who have been quiet and not known about. And when the members come, then we go to membership capacity building, especially in the area of self-esteem, attaching value to yourself, to be able to stand against the forces, the barriers, and the many forces that come our way. Then we also build the capacity of the community leaders and other stakeholders, family members, community leaders, and other stakeholders. When our capacity is built, then we also do a lot of advocacy for our rights and dignity. And we do a lot of trainings in the area of advocacy and the different areas that need for us to be fully included in the communities. We do membership, mentorship, do a lot of mentorship by, working with the people through, the life journeys, so that there is sustainability for us who began, in case we are not, who will take on the work. So mentorship is very key for us, because many younger people are coming on, and also other people who are just getting the disability for the first, even in their older days for the first time. Then we also do networking and collaborations with other organizations so that we are able to have a collective voice. Thank you.
Thank you, Robinah. So the UN guidelines on deinstitutionalization were formally adopted in 2022 and has been a strong advocacy document for persons with psychosocial disabilities and our representative organizations to engage with the stakeholders, especially the government in our countries, on deinstitutionalization. Triumph has been diligently working on taking these guidelines forward in Uganda. So could you please tell us how you've been using the guidelines in your work and advocacy? What has been that process like? And what has been the response of the various stakeholders to these guidelines?
Well, thank you so much. As Triumph Mental Health Support, we really welcomed the UN guidelines on the institutionalization, knowing that we are coming from a background of having been in institutions. Many of us are survivors of institutions. Others have been there in and out. So we welcome the guidelines, and the guidelines have been a big reference point for us when pursuing issues of being included in the communities and having all services in the communities close to our social networks and close to the communities we are used to. Then also because of before the guidelines, we've been having the UN Convention on the Rights of Persons with Disabilities, the CRPD, which has also been a big command and a big strength for our advocacy. And there is that Article 19 on living independently and being included fully in the community. So when we joined the two, we've been joining the two to make sure that we are raising awareness about these guidelines. Whoever we are having a communication with, we keep asking, have you heard about the UN guidelines on the institutionalization? And then, so what is that? We've not heard. Okay, I will check it out. When they don't have time for us to talk about this, okay, I'll go and check it out. And many have done that. Then the guidelines have been a blessing because they have practical steps that are necessary for realizing successful deinstitutionalization, and which have been embedded in the guidelines. If somebody takes time to go to them and have a reference there. And also the roles of the different stakeholders have also been the roles and responsibilities are also well put out in the guidelines. So what we have done to strengthen that as Triumph, with the support of Transforming Communities for Inclusion, Global, TCI, we decided to go to identify these key departments that influence, the community. We began with the city as we prepare to go to other areas. So we decided to go to the key departments to visit through the bilateral meeting and have bilateral meetings with the key department leaders, the heads of departments. We have like one-on-one, a round table with them, and we discuss the guidelines. And we discovered that many of the leaders of these departments, the heads, had not heard about these guidelines. And they even didn't know what it is. And they kept on saying, please, where are they? Give us a copy. So we went and shared a copy, a hard copy, and also a soft copy. So we went to departments like health department, education department, labor department, as they handle employment. We went to the environment, Department of Environment and Emergencies, and then to the community development, which is the very key department. So we would discuss how they think, and we would support them to identify that, that these guidelines it is possible for their department to play their role. So as we were doing that, while engaging with these stakeholders, the key message which were and the key goal was to really popularize the guidelines. Let people know them. That's how they can really appreciate them. And then the different stakeholders at different levels we were able to discover as we visited them that there is a knowledge gap, a big knowledge gap. And that's what we are pursuing to see that we bridge that gap. Secondly, as we met the different stakeholders, it was argued by many of them that there is need for more training and awareness about these guidelines if they are to be effectively appreciated by all actors at all levels. And most importantly, it was observed by the stakeholders that the DI guidelines need to be produced in multiple accessible formats and languages to cater for the different needs of persons that are reading them, the persons that have to carry out the implementation. At least for us, we were able to get the easy to read version, which has been helping us a lot, and we've used it out, and many of the stakeholders also appreciated it. So far, that's what we've done, popularizing, and it's like we've opened up now the discussions, people to think about it, and we brought the key people at the local government that can influence others in their meetings. Thank you.
Thank you, Robinah. Thank you so much for giving us such comprehensive and practical answers on the utility of DI guidelines for persons with psychosocial disabilities and our organizations. We are sure Triumph's experiences will be helpful for other advocates to understand how they can use the guidelines in their own regions. We would like to thank you again for agreeing to participate in this interview series and for giving us your time. So thank you so much.
It's a pleasure. Thank you. Yes.